What drew me in was the idea that having difficult feelings, like as I have very often, you're not sick because you have this kind of feelings, that you're still a human.
You are about to listen to part of a series where every other week a leader from our community shares with us a little about themselves, how they came to find out about the ACL Global Project, as well as what drives them to do the work that they do, and perhaps even a bit about their hopes and dreams. This is the ACL Member Spotlight series, and in today's episode, we are featuring Reimer Bierhals.
My name is Reimer Bierhals. I live in Bamberg, which is a medieval town in the south of Germany, in the province of Bavaria, well known for lots of breweries. My profession is a psychotherapist. Normally I'm up at 6:30 and I love to grind my coffee manually. I really love to do that as a routine. And normally I listen to the radio news during breakfast to encourage me to really start in the days doing some tango movements in my living room. And then I cycle to my office, seeing clients, preparing for therapy groups. It's normally about 6 or 7 p.m. when I'm back. When I'm hero of the day, I go to the gym, but normally I'm just listening to a radio feature or reading newspaper and go to sleep. For me, I would say I'm successful when I got the impression that I have done something meaningful, that I was in a real contact with client, or that I stimulated a real contact between clients and their own feelings and their own longings. Or sometimes I just would say I was successful because I had some vivid moments for myself during that day. A vivid moment for me is when I do a spontaneous poem, for example. And then I read that short poem. So it's not a really special thing, but it's kind of a way where I express myself and I get in contact with me again. I'm pretty sure it's about tango dancing. It's kind of where I identify myself, where I'm longing for this kind of exchange on different levels, exchange with the music, exchange with my body, with my tango partner, and with my own feelings about it. And I just love that moments where it's getting in kind of a flow, where it's not quite clear anymore who is initiating it and who is interpreting. Really strong conviction is, for me, it's the parent-child relationship. My mother is now 88 and I thought she would be dying a couple of months ago. Sometimes it's really hard for me to care for her and drive to her and look after her. But it's really important for me to be grateful that she tried her best as a mother and to give something back. On the other hand, to be really grateful for Nele, my daughter, that I have this strong connection to her. And nowadays, she does not need me so much anymore as in former times. She's 27 years old, but it's still a strong value of mine in both directions, for my mother and still for my child. I'm just rethinking a little bit because in the relation to my mother, it's I want to give back. And in the relation to my child, I really want to honor that I improved myself as a person, being her father. I raised her by my own, and in former times I just saw the bad things I did and scolded myself that I didn't do it better. In the aftermath, I really realized that when I started to get softer to myself, I really was able to hug that child more and more. And I couldn't do that in the beginning. I remember my first FAB workshop with Ashlyn in Berlin. And I guess it was the first time that I confessed that I was still missing my dead wife. I was crying. I was really in tears. And short after that, I learned Mavis in the ACBS Congress in Sevilla. It was 2016. And there she had this idea of ACL. What drew me in was the idea that having difficult feelings, like as I have very often, that you are not sick because you have this kind of feelings, that you are still a human, and that it's possible to get into a human encounter. So the idea that it's not pathological and that we should go out of therapy rooms and really train that people, not as clients, but for everybody. That drew me really in, because it's a complete other way about thinking about personal shortcomings. So I'm not saying that I'm really good in it, but it draws me in to confess feelings and to confess longings and to make it meaningful, but in a non-pathological way. Rewarding for me is during a protocol when the mood in the group is changing after the exchange. It's really rewarding when I feel that closeness is happening and that also in the group there are people who dare to speak up even when they're not sure if they are doing right. Challenging for me is coping with feelings of disappointment when sometimes, people are not showing up, or I did a lot of preparing and organization for the ACL meetings, and I knew that once there were only 3 people showing up, and I was just disappointed. It's funny because I had maybe centers in my mind. Who is showing up is really best people who can be there, or the right people. That meeting, I was able to accept that disappointment and made the best thing out of it. And it was really a rewarding session with 4 people together. What I'm really hoping for is that ACL is reaching out for really normal people, for people as I am who are frightened about getting into touch with other people and who are longing for it. That's really what I'm hoping for. When less people were coming to sessions, to ACL sessions, I had the idea to get into inner town and to just talk to people and show some flyers. That's this kind of dream that ACL is reaching out to people who are not used to talk about their inner life, and that we encourage them nevertheless try to do it with all their shortcomings, which I really find amazing. What really helped me is to view it as a possibility to experiment with my own shortcomings, to really show it to the people who are showing up, to really not faking a model, but really do my own steps out of the comfort zones. And it helps me to remind myself what is the most important thing. To me, it's to get more awareness about my inner things and to really try out to be brave myself and to make it meaningful. What I would say to younger Reimer is, I know how hard it is to be like you. I really know because I was going through that and I know it's hard. And to be honest, Reimer, it will still be hard in later times. And I just would love to hug you. That's really something which touched me, because what this kind of guy needed is more this, I'm there for you. And it's not that he needed some advices, because he heard all these advices, but still.
That was Reimer Bierhals, and this is the ACL Member Spotlight series, where every other week we feature another one of our outstanding leaders of the Awareness, Courage, and Love Global Project.